Okay. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. I hope you all are doing well. We'll give people one last minute here. For those of you just joining us, please put your name in the chat again as your attendance record, just so that I have that. Good morning. Okay. Good morning, everybody. So we're jumping to another module, if you can believe it. We are moving on to our nervous system. And I am a neuroscientist. So for me, this is the most exciting chapter. I hope you find it the same. We're going to start, and today we're going to talk about neurons themselves. So in our nervous system, if you remember, we have two kinds of cells mainly. We have neurons and glia. And neurons are the cells that do most of the work of our nervous system, whereas glia are considered more like the helper cells. And so our main question for today's class is, how do neurons communicate with each other? How do they signal? And they have an electrical chemical signaling. So there are two parts of nervous signaling that we're going to talk about: the electrical part, which is the movement of ions, and then a chemical part, which is where they release a chemical. The electrical part gives our nervous system speed. So we're able to think, I want to snap my fingers, and that will go all the way from our brain, down our spinal cord, down our arm, in an instant, in less than an instant, in microseconds. And how do we get that speed? That's through the electrical part of neuron signaling. The chemical part gives us specificity, and it allows us to do a whole bunch of different responses depending on the chemical that's released. So if they release acetylcholine, that's a skeletal muscle contraction. They release dopamine or serotonin, that's going to regulate mood and other thought processes. Glutamate is going to be an excitatory, so increase activity. GABA is going to be a decrease in activity. So there are a whole bunch of different chemicals that can be released, and the chemicals will give specificity. So again, the electrical part, that will give us our speed, and the chemical part will give us our specificity. And we're going to spend most of today's class looking at the steps involved with that electrical chemical signaling. So what I first want to do is, let me share my screen here, and we'll dive in with the agenda. So as always, if you have a question, you can put it in the chat box. And again, make sure you have your name in the chat as your attendance. So we're already here in Module 5, which is our nervous system. And so you see we've got two classes we're going to spend on that, Class 9. Hopefully you watch these videos before today's class and you have your notes readily available from that. That will help with the activity today. Then next week, we'll talk about our central and peripheral nervous system. So we'll zoom out and look at the nervous system as a whole. And then we will end with a homework and a quiz. Keep in mind, due this Sunday are your guided reading questions. You have two, GRQ 7A and GRQ 7B. You have an assignment that we'll work on today that you'll submit, similar to the assignments we've been doing. Okay, then next week you have your discussion post due, and then again, the end of the module is the homework and the quiz. Also due in a short period of time, again, is that annotated bibliography for your final project. So keep in mind, if you have me for lab, these are two different projects. So you've got a project for lecture and a project for lab. I don't know if you have lab projects for your other lab instructors. I just know for me, I am doing a lab project. It is different than the lecture. You might be in a different group, you might be in the same group. Now I've gotten some emails from people who have not heard from their group members after they picked a topic or even didn't hear from them to pick a topic. If that is the case, if you're not communicating with your group and that is breaking down, first let me know, but second of all, you will probably then have to work on it individually, and that is just the way that is going to have to go. Okay, so let's jump into Class 9 here. So on our Class 9 agenda, for the Class 9 attendance quiz, if you guys could tell me what ions are involved with neural signaling. What ions are involved with neural signaling? How neurons communicate with each other. What ions are involved with neural signaling? That is our Class 9 attendance quiz. Okay, take a minute. Do that. And while you do that, you want to open up these two links when you're done. We have a Google Doc, we've got a spreadsheet. So the Google Doc is similar to what we do with muscles. It's a list of things, okay, a list of steps. And these are steps in neural signaling. And I'm asking that you not write on this sheet, but can you repeat the question? What ions are involved in neural signaling? What ions are involved in neural signaling? Okay, so when you open up that first link, it's this document here. It's got a whole bunch of steps. And again, I ask that you not write on this one, but on a separate piece of paper or a document. I'll put you guys into groups and you'll work on putting these steps in the right order. And then you'll open up the second link, which is a spreadsheet that you'll put your group number and your group answer. Okay, so you'll work with your group to come up with an order of events that for neural signaling. Okay, so let me stop sharing here. So again, the question was what ions are involved with neural signaling? And the answers, as we're going to spend some time talking about today, there are three of them. We're going to focus on the roles of sodium first, then we'll talk about potassium, and then we'll end with calcium. So sodium, potassium, calcium are the three ions that we're going to spend some time discussing. Okay, so I'm going to put you guys into a breakout room with your group. Please put those events in the right order on a separate piece of paper or a separate document, and then put your answer in the spreadsheet. Okay, so let me break you guys into your rooms. Okay. Okay, so those are open, so go ahead and join them. Awesome. Okay. Bria, okay.